Hey folks, Charlie Sims here. Welcome to my channel. Hope you are having a lovely day and thank you for joining me for a speed build. So as you can see, I've taken a load of items out of debug before even recording. I just find scrolling through the debug menu kind of boring to watch, so I didn't want to show you guys that. So I pulled out a load of things before even starting on the structure of the house, and I use most of these, not all of them. I realise that I can't size the monkeys down, so I don't end up using those. But we are building as you could probably tell from the title, a self-sustaining tiny home, and this is the tiny home of an engineer. So we put the Tinker workstation in the garage and a robot. So they've constructed a robot, and I was thinking that they've kind of made this house themselves from scratch. So we've got like a tin roof. I later bend the tin roof a little bit. Yeah, I think I do that now. So I bend both sections of the tin roof, and I was just thinking that this is something that the sim who lives here has done. So in my mind, they've made the house, they have sorted their own electric out, they've done all the plumbing, all of the wiring, all of that. We have some solar panels on the roof, and then I give this sim the power generator that we got from the Eco Lifestyle Pack, and then a water generator, and also the thing that collects droplets of water. I put that in the garden as well, and then I put the water generator in their bathroom because I kind of wanted that to be covered because I think that breaks. And also, now I'm thinking about it, I also think the power generator that I put outside might break if it rains. So if you've got seasons, you might want to consider sheltering that too if you download this house. And I also completely forget a bathroom until like the very last minute as well. So we add a bathroom later, but I'm just adding like an extra, I guess, extension of the home. I think they've got a storage container, and the storage container that they bought is what has the bedroom and their bathroom in as well. And I think this Sim's dreams and goals have always been to live off the land, live rent free, which is kind of what I try and emulate in the house. So I try and make the house look like, you know, it could be free. I mean, I don't know, I haven't actually played in this house, so you probably have to like rejig it. We do have like electronics, so of course you would have to like play about with that, see in terms of like gameplay, see if the power generator and the 3 solar panels is enough, and also the water tank and the water generator, if that is enough to reduce your bills down to 0. But I was thinking when I was making this home that that is the dream of the sim. I think they just want to live off the land, and certainly they've been to uni and they've got these engineering qualifications, and I also think engineering is their passion as well. So as well as going to uni, they also learn a load of kind of transferable skills, so things that kind of real world skills, I should say, not transferable, so like plumbing and wiring and electricity and all of that. And it's also that they can live free and earn money to, I don't know, possibly start a family, make sure that their kids are looked after, and they, you know, give them money when they pass away, maybe something like that. I think that's kind of the goal of the sim, and then this house really shows that they've kind of reach their goal. That's what I was thinking. I had a lot of fun with this as well because it is a tiny house, so it meant that I could clutter it up, because I always find with tiny homes that it is realistic for them to have just a lot of clutter, a lot more than a bigger home. Like certainly when I make huge kitchens, which isn't very often to be honest, but I find when I put things out in a huge kitchen, I find that it's kind of unrealistic. I mean, you would have a little bit out, but if you've got a really big kitchen, you probably have the cupboard space to put everything away. So that's why, I don't know, I just tend to have a bit more fun with tiny homes, and I did have a lot of fun with this home. I clutter up the garage so many times, just keep going backwards and forth, put in like some of the debug menus we get, like crates, paints as well that we get with City Living. But at the moment, I'm just doing the kitchen, and we have like kind of an industrial kitchen. I wasn't sure what vibe I was going with, but I think I ended up kind of going industrial, kind of metal looking. I also really, really like the living room. So we've got this item from Debug Menu, also a robot vacuum, because I just think like maybe they made a robot vacuum at uni or something. That was my thoughts, and like they kept it. But yeah, we have like a little token on the wall, and I thought that that was maybe from their travels, like maybe they've been traveling after university. So yeah, that was my thoughts. But we make this little shelving unit, and I just put a tiny TV on there, like nothing massive. I don't think they spend a lot of their time watching television, certainly if they're researching how to garden, how to plumb, things like that. I don't really think that they spend a lot of time watching telly, and I think they spend a lot of time reading, and this is why I made this kind of bespoke bookcase. And also because we don't have many short bookcases, which is kind of a shame. I really like kind of short bookcases. We have kind of wall length bookcases, wall height, sorry, we have wall height bookcases. So I think it would be nice to have kind of bookcases that were half the height that they are, but we don't have any, so I made some bespoke ones using shelves, and I really like how cluttered that looks as well. We later clutter the wall a little bit as well and add a curtain. I'm just adding that rug from Get Famous, and I don't use this very often, but I really like it. I wanted the place to not be too bright. I wanted it to be quite muted and industrial, but the pop of colour we definitely use, especially later when we wallpaper. I'm doing a thing that I do a lot where I kind of furnish first and then wallpaper after. But the wallpapering is kind of green as well. I take a green. We've got like a lot of pops of green and pops of blue. Do later change those dividers to the black swatch as well, and I really do like those chain dividers. You'll see them on the right now. We got them from City Living, and I thought that was really nice because we do have big sliding doors into the home, and I thought for privacy purposes that this would be really nice. So yeah, I was really happy with that. Just placing some pipes now. Wanted the pipes to be quite prominent on the outside as kind of like, I mean, not a botched job. Like, I think this sim is like pretty thorough with their work, but they did like install the plumbing, so I think there would just be something obvious on the exterior. Like, I don't think it's been covered or anything, because I don't think aesthetic means that much to this sim. It was more just being self-sustaining and not aesthetically pleasing on the outside necessarily. And you will have seen me add an observatory earlier, and I didn't even mention it, but I added an observatory because I thought this sim was maybe could use it as like a kind of lookout point. I think the observatory can be used for a few things. I like the look of it. I like that there's like a little satellite dish. So I thought that maybe they're kind of like surveying the area. I also thought that this sim was a little bit paranoid. So we also have like a lot of toilet roll in the bathroom. So I kind of thought, like, I mean, I didn't think that this was like a post apocalyptic build or anything. I just think that they're really paranoid and they don't necessarily trust the system or the government or anything. And I thought that was like a bit of a fun idea, and I think that's why they're kind of like self-sustaining. They really don't want to depend on anyone like the government or anything, and I think they bought by toilet roll because they're paranoid as well, and that's what I thought about that sim. And that's why they have the observatory as well. And this is me. I was trying to scale down those monkey statues because I really like them. I like that they're kind of like a hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, because you see a lot of these in furniture stores, or at least I do anyway. You can like kind of get mini statues to put on your shelves. Like, I've seen like some rhinos that are hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. So I was thinking of like scaling them down quite a bit and putting them on shelves, but they just don't scale that small, which makes sense because they are like kind of massive. So I get that. I'm just cluttering up this counter, this kitchen counter, with just some chopping items, and then we give them like some tea and some tea bags as well. And I think later, and it doesn't even make sense now I'm thinking about it, but I do give them the coffee bag from Debug as well because I just kind of like how it looks. And another thing about this build as well, the 21st birthday update came out when I was halfway through this build. So that's when I added that wardrobe from Peacemaker. So we now have, officially, we have some CC in the base game. Some amazing content creators have created some content for The Sims, and as part of the 21st birthday, the Sims team have put it in the base game, which is really awesome, especially for console players as well, especially who can't necessarily no, they can't download custom content, so that's awesome for them. So yeah, really happy about that. And some beautiful pieces. Like, unfortunately, I don't get to use all of them, so but I build all the time, so I know that I'll use it eventually. So I use the wardrobe from Peacemaker in this one. Because it's a tiny house, I just don't have the room. We also use the mirror from Peacemaker as well, with a cute little face on. So we use those two, and that's all that I can actually fit in this build, unfortunately. But I'm super excited to use them in future builds, which I'm sure I will use them when I build a bit of a bigger home. Like, we don't even have a dining table here, unfortunately. I would have used the new dining table as well. But at the moment, I'm just cluttering up this desk. I had a lot of fun just pulling so much out of Debug. Anything that I could see or think of that you would need in a home where you weren't going to the shops, you weren't going to the doctors, you were completely self-sufficient. So this sim has got syringes by their bedside table, like, just in case they need to perform any small, like, medical treatments on themselves. I don't know, it's just kind of nuts. And I just had a lot of fun with this idea. They've got some, I don't even know what this is, like some canisters. Use a lot from Get to Work here. Oh, and I also pull out some fish food and then decide to give them fish, because I don't really like actually add fish to a lot of my builds. So I thought, oh, okay, we'll give the Sims some fish. So they look after some fish, and I'm just cluttering the tops of the wardrobes, and I love this wardrobe so much. You know what I love the most about the wardrobe, as well as the really cool design? All of the swatches, like, my god. We get spoiled by CC creators, like, I wasn't expecting that many swatches because we don't normally get that many swatches from the Sims team, but so many swatches, and they go with so much. I play about with the colour scheme. I don't use this blue. I switch it up and use a different colour, but we actually get a lot of nice wood tones as well. But yes, that's what I keep with. I keep with the green, but some really, really nice wood tones. Also love this locker thing that we get with City Living as well. Do like the bright swatch in that. And I add a washing machine, and then I add a fishbowl onto the washing machine, and then I think, surely when the washing machine is going, that fish is going to be so distraught. And I couldn't actually put the fish down. Like, I just couldn't, in all good consciousness, I just couldn't add the fish on top of the washing machine. I felt cruel. So we add the fish on a little shelf instead. Put two shelves together, then decide to use the Snowy Escape shelf because it's a little bit thicker. And actually, we don't need to do anything because the fish fit on that. And I don't actually know whether you'll be able to feed them from that, to be honest. I'll check that out, and then I will let you know in the description, and possibly I might have to change it in the gallery. But I do test a lot of these. So I test that my sim can eat, I test that my sim can sleep, things like that. Use the television, get to a bookcase, but I completely forgot to test the fish, so I will let you know in the description after this. And I actually use that shelving unit from Eco Lifestyle, and I really like it. I just haven't used it since I got it because I didn't know, because there's hooks on it with nothing, and I wanted something to be on the hook. However, we end up hooking the dressing gown, so I just scale it down by 0.8 with the tool mod as well. So Twisted Mex's tool mod is a CC you can download, and it's awesome. It's how I elevate things and move things. You can essentially move things off the lot, which is really cool. So you can put like playgrounds near your house, and you can like kind of make the world a bit more fuller of usable things. But a lot of people use it to rotate things, make custom furniture. Here, you can actually use it to scale down things. So I scaled the dressing gown down by 0.8 so that it could fit on that hook, and I think that looks really cool. I'm really happy with that. Got the ironing board as well, and I do later, I don't think I'll forget it. I put a clothesline down. Good. Just thinking that I forgot that. Also put like a bit of clutter down. Their room is incredibly cluttered, which is kind of what I would expect from a tiny home, but yeah, it's more cluttered than the rest of the home, but because the rest of the home is relatively neat apart from the garage, which you just expect a load of stuff in the garage. I size the second washing up bottle as well, just to make it a bit more realistic. I don't know. And then I use this mirror from Peacemaker. It's so cute. So there's one with hearts and there's another one with a crying face. I added the hearts, and yeah, I think it's adorable. I later have to move it to the kitchen because we do add a big window here. One of my favourite windows, the Eco Lifestyle window with the really big shelf, and then we clutter that shelf up as well. And I absolutely love cluttering shelves up. It's like one of my favourite things to do. Don't use that trellis, it's just like in the way. But obviously we've got a hose as well because I don't know, they've probably put that in themselves and that's what they use to water their plants and all this. And this is where I'm kind of pulling out some of the power. So this is when I really start thinking about them being self-sufficient. Before that, it was kind of they're an engineer, and this is when I think they're fully self-sufficient now. So we put these solar plant panels, I forgot what they were called, solar panels together, add a dew collector, also add a woodworking bench as well, because I think they make various things on the woodworking bench. And I miss a little bit of footage here, but I add a toilet, and all I've done is add a toilet, a shower and a sink. Do add a high-tech toilet because I imagine that they've engineered that. I wasn't sure whether to go really rustic, like outdoor retreat rustic, or high-tech, and I decided to go high-tech because they're an engineer, and this is when I decide to just add a load of extra toilet roll just for fun. Because I don't know, it kind of reminds me of the pandemic, because when the pandemic first started in the UK, when you went to the shops, there was hardly any toilet roll in the shops. Like, people were just bulk buying toilet roll out of panic. I don't know, I didn't really understand it, to be honest, but that's why I thought of toilet roll, and it just made me laugh. And now we're kind of fencing the backyard, so I did like struggle thinking about the backyard, but then I was thinking, well, they are a paranoid sim, so they've probably got this fully fenced off. So we completely fence the gardening with like barbed wire in the back, which is like a little bit extreme. But obviously they have surveillance, like they literally have an observatory that they can go in and check the surrounding areas because they're that paranoid about the government and the feds and everything. So I just think, well, yeah, they would have barbed wire around their house. A little bit of fun. We end up adding a bit of colour to the outside as well. Like, it's looking very, like, I was thinking of like going with a unusual material, and then I think, no, brick, like they could lay brick, like that's completely normal. And then they have a tin roof, sure. So I actually really like the brick. I like that it brings it out a little bit. We change the container, the colour of the container, as you all have just seen, to red, and I think that really goes with the brick noise. I'm just changing up the colour scheme a little bit here. In the screenshots, you will see that I changed the tin roof to a dark grey instead of this light grey as well. And yeah, I think that looks really nice. So now we're just doing a little bit of landscaping, and there's nothing too crazy with the landscaping. I was thinking, as I mentioned earlier, that this sim isn't driven by aesthetics. They're driven by practicalities and how to live and things like that. So if they can't grow, if they can't eat whatever's growing, they're not planting it. So that's why there's no flowers. However, there are some flowers on this tin bit of the roof. I added some flowers for aesthetics, and also like when you think of kind of eco homes, I think grass as well. This is just me adding the coffee bags, just finding things in debug. And now I just pull out like some bushes. So this is just like kind of all natural at the front, and then the back we have like some banana trees and things. So yeah, nothing crazy, like little bit out the front, but yeah, as I said, I just can't see them planting a load of flowers. I think their efforts would go towards planting things that they could eat. It's all like survival, and that's what they love, kind of thing. That's what I was thinking about. Also, get this phone pole out. I don't know why. Maybe they erected a phone pole. I don't know. I just went crazy. I was really in the debug menu for the majority of this build actually. And now I'm adding a window. I love those vines so much, but I didn't add them. I added a window instead, and we put a load of things in this window. This is where we put the syringes and some more tissue paper, and I think like a book, some documents. There's like a fine line between you placing something on a shelf and getting weird lighting, so try to avoid that. I also put these pots with like, I think they've got like earbuds and other things in. Like, I thought that was something that this sim would have as well, so I added that in. And this is just me like working out the layout of the garden. Do realise I haven't added any flooring or wallpaper to the insides. We do that last, which is like super weird, so I'm so sorry. It's just like my thought process. Sometimes I just fully furnish. I'm very much into the build and buy menu, I guess, rather than like the build menu, and I just find it takes me so long to pick a wallpaper and a flooring that I tend to do it last. But anyway, I was really struggling with the layout of the garden. I think it ends up looking great, but we have like so many things to put in the garden. Also, move this back a little bit because we do need to fit in a car. I completely forgot. We need to fit in like a truck or something that I think that this sim owns. I mean, I guess we don't really need to because it's not like, they're not like really a thing, but yeah. Added a truck in. This seating area isn't functional because they're not dining chairs, and I don't know, I just really liked how they looked. But you might, if you actually use this, it might be like less annoying to swap them out for some actual dining chairs, thinking about it, because that is the only dining room you've got in the house. Also, think I had a barbecue. So this is just me sorting out a bit of a pathway, and it does end up being kind of not dirty, but it's certainly not manicured. And because there's so many like things, there's like power generators, the observatory, kind of things that I think would pollute the surrounding area. There are a lot of bits of dirt, and I like that. I think it's super realistic. I do just like not these really cutesy gardens. I mean, I love a cutesy garden, but like sometimes I just like it to be a bit, you know, rough and ready. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm saying. I just kind of liked this garden. I like gardens that are dirty as well as really pretty. But we do add like a couple of nice plants. And then I add a bee box as well because I think like maybe not a bee box, an ant box, because I think like maybe they cook ants. And actually thinking about it, I should have added that wall for meat. So if you download this, please add that meat wall. Well, add the standing planter, which I can't really remember what you have to do. You have to do a load of stuff to get the meat wall or something, probably get level 10 of gardening, I can't remember. But now I am just adding the flooring and some wallpaper, and then we are onto the screenshots. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you'd like to see some more content from me, please hit subscribe. Catch you later.